What's up, guys? What's up, guys? What is up? We are doing a multi live stream right now. So we are on TikTok, we're on YouTube, on Twitch as well. So if you guys are over there, feel free to jump on that live. Would love to have any questions that you guys have on job search. If you're new to these lives, that's what we're talking about, the job market, job search. So let me know what questions you have. If you're looking to jump on here as well, if you've got questions on job search in 2024, if you got questions on how to work with recruiters, whatever questions you guys have, get in a chat, ask those questions. For anyone who doesn't know me, I've been in recruitment for coming up to a decade. I've worked with a ton of hiring managers. And yeah, really here just to help and support. So if you're looking for a job, feel free to say what type of job you're looking for. If you are, if you are a recruiter, feel free to say what type of recruitment roles you're looking for. I'm going to be trying to go live every single day on these channels as well. So would love to kind of build a live community. So try and go live at about 9 a.m. every single day, 9 a.m. Central Time. So yeah, if you got questions in the next few days on the job search, feel free to jump in. If you got comments on the job market, if you got comments on any of my content, feel free to jump in and let me know. I'm just getting back to a couple people on LinkedIn right now. Would love to hear from you guys. Riley, thanks for liking the live. Really appreciate it, guys. If you guys don't follow Riley, Riley is puts a ton of Riley puts a ton of content out as well. So if you don't follow Riley, go follow Riley. Let's see. Someone just got back to me. Hey, mate, I really enjoy your streams. Yeah, look, I was thinking about starting a Discord actually for job seekers. Not sure if anybody would be interested in joining that. Just a place that, if people have questions around the job search, maybe they could just ask. That would be like a free thing. But let me know. Discord would be awesome. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just like a Discord channel. I mean, the part of the challenge is, what I found is, I give like a ton of I put a ton of information. I put a ton of information out on social media. And it's like, people always want more and more time. So, I'm thinking about doing that. Not sure if I will. What's the job market like now? There hasn't really been that much change in the job market. I know, obviously, we had the election last week, so I think things will start to change here in 2025 as there's just more certainty as to what's going to happen. I think interest rates have continued to go down as well, so that's a good sign for the job market. But it's pretty much the same place that it's been this whole year, and that's not a good place, particularly with like tech and then any of those corporate positions. If you're looking at a job though in like manufacturing, healthcare, construction is booming. Construction is huge. I'm looking for a revenue analyst, a strategy analyst role. How is it difficult? It's probably just difficult because there's probably a lot of people looking for those same roles, Danny. And usually if it's a difficult role, it's because there's a lot of people who are looking for those same roles, and there just isn't that many jobs. Wallet, I do own my own recruitment firm 100%. We're focused on construction primarily. So if you're if you're looking to hire in construction, let us know. Would love to help your company with any construction needs. But I've decided to focus on that because that's really what my background's been. I spent about 6 years just primarily recruiting in construction, and Yeah, I was like looking and I've had a ton of conversations in the past few weeks with HR leaders, talent leaders, all all these people are involved in recruitment, and it just seems like the construction market is really really strong right now. So that'd be like looking at like project managers, estimators, superintendents. Why do companies prefer to staff with contractors if the bill rate is more expensive than FTE? Because when you hire FTE, then you have insurance on both sides. You've got um, insurance is really huge, right? So if you're hiring somebody full time, and so I think it's just easier for companies, and then it's like less of a commitment. I mean, if you have to onboard someone permanently, so I think that's why a lot of companies do that and are doing that right now. Um, what do you guys think? Any other recruiters out there in the house? And what's up to everybody out there on Twitch and YouTube? It's good to see you guys. If you are looking for a job and you're on either of those platforms, I would love to hear from you. Get in the chat. Ask any questions that you have on the job search. Are HR people lazy? Asking for a general feel. I would say they're no more lazy than any other group of people. I don't think they're like more lazy. Does it decrease legal liability since it's not subject to equal protections? That's a good question. I mean, I think that's like employee. I'm not like an expert with the law, so I probably wouldn't be the best person to answer that with HR. But I would think that people are protected, whether they're a contractor or a permanent employee. Any anyone else have any thoughts on that? Anyone else like a legal expert within HR? Um, I especially like the corporate videos. Love it. Do you see the hiring market picking up at first quarter? Look, I mean, here's what I've seen with the hiring market in general. Um, the hiring market in November to December, holiday time. For some companies they slow down. Not all companies. There's still opportunities. But then January, it's always a little bit of a slow start, right? Those first 2 weeks. And then you start to see it ramp up in that probably like the end of Q1. That's usually when you see it ramping up. And then Q2 is always really, really busy. So yeah, I mean, my general thought is if you're looking for a job, it doesn't matter what quarter it is, people are still getting hired. People are still looking for talent. So it's worth applying the job still. If I'm looking for a job, I'm not slowing it down. um, I'd be continuing to apply to jobs that you think you're a fit for, or that you are a fit for, that you're qualified for, and I would still spend time networking, building relationships. And there's lots of ways to network. There's lots of online groups that you can join. There's a ton of like Discord channels, Slack channels for different industries, and then just look at like who have you worked with in the past, who have you built relationships with over the years, whether it's vendors, clients, coworkers, whoever it is. Those are great people to reach out. Would it be easier to apply for a contracted job versus FTE? Yeah, I mean, look, right now, I think whether or not you're applying to a contracted position or an FTE role, both are going to be challenging because it's just more job seekers on the market. That's what's making it competitive, and there's less of those jobs around. What's going on with the fake recruiting schemes from South Asia? Yeah, those have been going on for forever. I mean, look, there's recruitment scams on Craigslist. There's recruitment scams all over the place. What you need to do is if you ever want to judge if someone is, really hiring for a position and they're a real person, go to their LinkedIn page, look at the company page. If they're based overseas and there's nobody based in the US, that's definitely a red flag. If they say staffing and recruitment on there, that could be another red flag. Um, and then you can always just do a Google search too to see, like, just put the name of the company and see what comes up as well. Um, I'm not sure what they gain from it. I mean, people fall for scams, so there's always, I know when I was working I worked at a bank for a number of years, and people would definitely fall for those scams at the bank. So, um, I think they just, I don't know what it is, but anyway, let's see here. So I'm live right now too on on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. So if you guys have questions, I got a question that was coming in from YouTube right now. Someone was asking about 1 page or 2 pages with resumes. My thought is, whether it's 1 page or 2 pages, really doesn't matter. What you want to focus on is like making sure that each bullet point on your resume is applicable to the positions you're applying for. What's your view on back channeling? My emails get ignored, targeting managers and directors. Um, I guess, what do you mean? What's my view on back channeling? Like, is that something that I guess I don't really have like a view on it. I mean, I think it's fine. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't just do ask for referrals, but it depends on the industry. Like, it's definitely not like my favorite thing to do because I feel like it's a little bit kind of behind people's back, which isn't great. But um, yeah, hey, do you think if you get a master's, it's hardest to get a job? I don't think it makes it harder to get a job. I just think it's hard to get a job. So if all you have though is a master's and all you have is education, I don't think education necessarily means as much as they sell you that education means. So if all you have a master's degree and you don't have any experience, depending on the industry, I don't think it's going to help you. But guys, if you're just joining, we're talking about the jobs market. We're talking about the job search. We're talking about anything that's recruiting or job search related. So if you got questions, get in the chat. And if you have, if you're looking for a job, feel free to say what type of job you're looking for as well in the chat. A lot of recruiters reach out to me about contract to hire. What's that about? What's your thoughts? Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier. A lot of companies right now, it's a little bit less risky for them to hire people on contract versus hiring people permanently. So we're seeing more of that. That's a good sign for the job market, though, in general. That's usually how it goes. People start hiring contract first, and then it will go into permanent placement. So my thought in taking those jobs is, as long as on your resume you put in parentheses contract role, then recruiters know. If you don't, then you can potentially look like a job hopper, and that can be a bad thing. Um, do you need a resume writer? I don't really need a resume writer this time. I do like a resume review with people. If you're interested in that, you can go to the profile link on the page, and there's a way to book in for that as well. Any advice for international students? I don't really have any other advice than I would have for other people. I think what I will say is if you're international and you're looking for a visa right now, it's going to be tough. So, um, if you have specific questions on that, happy to answer it, but I don't really have any specific advice at all. How to tailor resumes. Yeah, look, here's what I think about tailoring resumes. I think if you're applying to the same types of jobs, you don't need to tailor it that much. Like, you don't need to go to the company website and make it super specific to that company. But I'd probably have like 2 or 3 different resumes that apply to 2 or 3 different types of roles. So let's say if you were applying for sales positions, maybe you have a sales resume for small companies, for large companies. Maybe you have one for different industries, but you should really have the same information if you're applying to similar types of jobs, right? So I wouldn't waste a ton of time tailoring stuff. What really separates people on resumes is when they're really clear on data KPIs. So whatever role you're in, you're going to have KPIs, right? They're going to measure your performance. Having that on your resume, really helpful. And you'd be surprised. Seems pretty common sense, but not a lot of people have that stuff on there. Or they'll have way too much information, or they won't have the right information that shows they're qualified for the job. So I think, you should be really applying for similar types of jobs. If you're applying for like sales jobs and marketing jobs and software engineer jobs, to me that doesn't really make any sense. What you want to do is have, maybe a couple of different resumes for different industries, maybe for different skill sets if you've done a lot of different things. But like, I guess my point with that is most companies are going to expect the same thing from salespeople. They want you to sell, they want you to close business. So it's not like when you go to apply for a sales job at one company, it's going to be completely different than another company. A lot of these jobs are going to have the same things. From a recruiter's point of view, what we're trying to assess is, do you have the technical skills? Do you have, have you accomplished in your background enough to where we think you're going to be able to do the job that we're recruiting on? And the best way to show that is with data and being really, really clear in your numbers. I don't do any tech recruiting half and half. Do you do live resume reviews? I don't do live resume reviews. Advice for getting a promotion with no immediate raise. Um, yeah, that's how, I mean, look, if you think it's going to help your resume, Ryan, and if you're getting more responsibility and that's going to open up to a raise in the future, or maybe open up opportunities at different companies, I think it's worth it. But that just sounds like a quiet promotion to me. I would try and negotiate a raise, especially if you're doing more work. Like if you're doing more work than you're doing right now and they're not giving you a raise, that sounds like kind of a ripoff to me. Thoughts on reaching out to people that work at the company you want to work at, messaging. Look, I think it's worth giving it a try. Less people are going to reach out to those people who work at the company. I try and get people. I try and reach out to people who are going to be on the team that you're going to be on. So if you're reaching out to people who are maybe on the marketing team because you're going for a marketing job, that can be helpful because they might have information on the role. But in general, like messaging people and outreach is hard. Okay. Most people are busy and they're getting hit up by lots of people. That's why response rates are low. You talk to anybody in sales, they will tell you it's just hard to get a hold of people. So if you're on the job search, what I would recommend is when you reach out to someone, keep it really short and sweet. You I get too many messages myself, which are like paragraphs long, too much information. Someone messaged me on TikTok the other day, and it was literally like a book. And I'm like, I'm not gonna read through all this. Like, I don't have the time to read through all this. So what I would do is if you reach out to someone, short and sweet, and give them a yes or no question because you're just trying to get a response. Great yes or no question, or great idea for a message. Hey, I just applied to this job. Do you know if it's still open? Yes or no. They're gonna give you a yes or no. Or is it still open? Right? No, it's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, awesome. Who should I reach out to about that? And maybe they just direct you to apply online, but maybe that gives you an opportunity. What most people tend to do when they reach out on LinkedIn is, "Hi, hey, this is Tony. I have 15 years of experience in blah blah blah." And it's like people don't have the time to listen. So, guys, if you're just joining, if you got questions on the job market, you got questions on job search, feel free to get in the chat. Ask any questions you have. This is a daily life show. I've been in recruitment for coming up to a decade. So if you've got questions on the job market, if you've had questions in general on what's going on in 2024, if you got questions on resume, LinkedIn, feel free to get in the chat and ask those questions. Someone just said, I always hear make your CV stand out. How do you do that? And what does it mean? The easiest way to make your resume stand out, like I just talked about before, was making sure that you're including data around your accomplishments versus tasks. So if you're in sales and you say, my responsibilities were prospecting, cold calling, closing business, congratulations, you just told us you're in sales. What I care much more about is what's your pipeline like? What's your sales cycle like? How much business did you close? Right? What was your quota? What type of technology did you use? That's what you want to have um, included. So, make sure that you're putting that information on it. And then again, don't overcomplicate things. This is the process at most companies. They'll post a job, the recruiting team will post a job, the HR will post a job, people apply, they review the applications, and then they call people. So when you have your resume out there, you want to make sure it's simple enough for a recruiter or HR to really quickly understand and see that you're a good fit for the position. So sometimes simpler is better. Again, I've seen this in maybe more technical roles, it's a little bit different, but across the board, I've seen a lot of people that have so much information on their resume. And if you look at the statistics of how much people read resumes, it's like something like stupid, like 7 to 10 seconds, maybe it's 15 to 20 seconds. What do you want them to leave with that shows you're a fit for the position you're applying for? So don't have too much information on there. You don't need to go back, 20 odd years on your resume. Keep it top heavy where you're talking about your most recent experience. And then here's a simple test. Look at each line and then look at what job you're applying for and say, does this line make sense for the position I'm applying for? I see this a lot with people who are really experienced or maybe they own their own business. They will tend to have way too much information because they're wearing lots of different hats. Cut that out, make it easy. On my Workday applications, any advice on applying this platform? Most jobs applied use this. Yeah, I mean, look, Workday, I think there's a couple tools out there which will like um save information if you're applying on Workday all the time and then be able to auto populate. So I would maybe look at some of those tools. I can't think of any at the top of my head, but I would just do a search like um not necessarily auto apply, but like something that would just, there'd be like a Google Chrome extension which will just like auto populate on Workday. I've heard of those. Um but look, I talk about this all the time. Companies, when it comes to these applications, they do make it hard and it takes time. Um, but at the same time, you got to apply to a lot of jobs. So I'd be aiming to apply to maybe 15 or 20 jobs a day if you have the time to do that. Obviously, if you're working, it's a little bit more challenging. But if you're not working, aiming for that. I'd also, apply directly on the websites, like Indeed, LinkedIn. These websites are great for like finding potential positions, but just apply on the website as well. Do I go live every day? Yeah, I do go live every day. Yeah, 15 to 20 jobs a day. Look, I mean, the response rate's about like 3 to 5%, right? Maybe even lower than that, 1 to 3%. So if you apply to 10 jobs, then maybe you hear back from 0. You apply to 100, maybe you hear back from 1 to 3. So yeah, it's a lot. And if you can't find that many jobs, then you need to widen the pool of what you're looking for. So maybe you look at similar industries. And we do this a lot in recruiting. Like sometimes when you're recruiting, we're trying to find people who are basically doing the job at a similar company. That's basically that's what a lot of recruiters do. It's the easiest way to fill a position. So sometimes we might look at, a similar industry or people who are doing similar jobs to fill a position. You need to do that as a job seeker as well. I met with people who are like, yeah, I'm like, how many jobs did you apply to this month? And they're like 5. Yeah, I haven't heard anything back. Yeah, it's just not enough jobs because a lot of those jobs aren't even active. You don't know if they're in the final interview. You don't know how many times that job's been posted. Maybe they've got 4 people and they're going to make an offer to one tomorrow and you applied for that job. They're not going to like put everything on hold and go, "Hey, let's put this other person through the process." So yeah, it is. It's a job. It is a job on its own. Basically like a sales job, and you're kind of like selling yourself. So, but guys, look, I'm going to head out here. I appreciate all of you on TikTok. Appreciate you on YouTube and on Twitch as well. I go live every day around this time, usually for about 25, 30 minutes. But I appreciate you. If you got other questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can go find me on www.therealistrecruiter.com. You can also go find me on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere like that, LinkedIn as well. Go to the link tree on the TikTok profile, and I'll add that in here on YouTube and Twitch as well. But I appreciate all of you guys. Have a good one. We'll talk soon. Thanks for the kind words. See you guys.